And it was one of the coolest things I'd ever witnessed. People just showed up. And for the first time in my life, I truly understood the definition of if you build it, they will come.
Cool. All right. Work hard, play hard. Assunta,
Yes.
what gets you most excited about your day?
The idea that I woke up this morning gets me the most excited. I get so excited about the opportunity to get a new day. But I love the fact that the way that I've designed my life, to live it to the fullest and to be able to spend each day doing exactly what it is that I love. And when I come into work, I love hearing all the stories about how we've played a pivotal role in allowing people to do the same thing for their days. So I think that that's, for me, my favorite part. And of course, I mean, my family, that's above all, goes without saying. I love the fact that I get to be with my family all day, but I love it. I love being, just completely surrounded by positive energy all day long.
Speaking of that, surrounding yourself, the people that you do surround yourself with are, for the most part, entrepreneurs or small business owners. What is it like to be in that environment, in and out, day after day?
I think it's exciting. I mean, I was never designed to sit at a desk or at a cubicle, working a 9-to-5 job, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that's not how I'm wired, and that's not how I'm designed. So being surrounded by people who are on the same path or aligned with that same vision makes it very exciting. I think it's great. I think anybody who's able to derail from a path that they're on and not completely fulfilled is inspiring.
The question you'll never escape.
Uh-oh.
You are the CEO of the HuB.
Yeah.
So what is the HuB?
Well, I know, what the HuB is to me is, it can be anything, right? It can be as simple as it's a family business. It's a great place to grow ideas. I think my son one time painted probably one of the most clearest images that I'd ever seen of what the HuB was, and it was a garden, and there were some seeds, and then there were some flowers, and he said each one of those represents a business. And the more you water and nourish those and nurture them, they grow. So, but I think that if you were to sit 10 people on this couch and you ask them the same question, I think that you would find that you're going to get 10 different answers, because I think it serves a purpose for people in a different way. Some people come here looking for different things than others, and the objective for us is to make sure that each of them leave with a great experience, regardless of what it is,
Right, and I think there's a fair amount of people who do come into our doors here,
Yeah.
who don't know
Right.
what they're doing. They're
Right.
kind of lost, or they're at a transitional moment in their lives,
Right.
And they're trying to figure out what's that direction I go in. And I'm always impressed by watching the people who find their footing here.
Yeah.
You see them come in,
Yeah.
and they're just struggling to know what their place is in the world, and then 6 months, 12 months, 18 months later, you see a confident person who's convinced of an idea and believe they have a path forward. That's something that brings me a lot of joy.
Yeah, I agree. One of the best parts about my day is when I get to, play a role, sort of a consultative role, if you will, for people coming in, and it can be business owners, it can be young entrepreneurs, college students, young high school kids that come in all the time, and they ask the question of what should I be when I grow up, kind of thing, or how did you know what you wanted to be when you grow up? And I say, you can do anything that you want to do, and more often than not, I think the most exciting part is helping someone get on the path to happiness for them, because I think that as a society I shouldn't say we never, that's kind of a blanket statement, but we are less often reminded that we should be happy, but we're more often reminded that we need to be successful. And usually the path to success is not always the path to happiness. But we, you and me, and we here, and I always say, if you follow the passion, you will be successful. And because that can mean so many different things. Success isn't measured in dollars all the time. Absolutely. We work with so many creatives who they don't care about the bottom dollar. They only care that they get to spend their day doing what they love the most and feeling the most fulfilled about it. And money is really irrelevant to them. I mean, as long as they have enough to live, they're happy. And then, of course, we work with people who are looking to be, that big time CEO who gets acquired, and disrupts an industry. And that's cool too. That's all cool.
The HuB itself, can you believe it? Almost 10 years.
We are 10 years old.
Thinking back to day one and today, how do you think the HuB has evolved? Do you see
Oh my
a difference?
gosh. Not only has the HuB evolved, I've evolved, the culture's evolved. All of the companies started under the roof of the HuB have all evolved. And if you ask me if you asked me to outline you a business plan of how we were to make that happen, I wouldn't be able to have done that for you. And I'll be very honest with you, when the idea was presented to me by my husband, who is the founder of the HuB, and he said, I remember he woke up in the middle of the night and he shot up out of bed and he was like, oh my God, I have an idea. And I was like, whoa, buddy, we're sleeping. And, and he was just like, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna get a space and we're gonna invite all the creatives in the community to come there and plug in and collaborate and be creative and innovative and support each other. And we're gonna grow businesses and we're gonna be innovative. And I thought, okay. And later that afternoon, he came home and he had rented a warehouse, in the Rose.
Didn't take him long.
No, it took him about 2 hours to seal that deal. And I said, well, what do we do now? And he says, I don't know. And so we started a Facebook page because Facebook had just came out, it's almost 10, is it a little over 10 years old, I guess? Not much, right? So started a Facebook page and we just kind of said, hey, if anybody's out there and you want to come plug in and be surrounded by some creatives and some cool people, come on by. And it was one of the coolest things I'd ever witnessed. People just showed up. And for the first time in my life, I truly understood the definition of if you build it, they will come. And they did, and they kept coming, and they kept coming. And now we're in our third location. It is the best location. I couldn't have even dreamed of being in this location.
I know, this beautiful location. What do you hope the vibe will be of this place? Every HuB that we've had has had its sort of unique identity, right? And now we're in the heart of downtown Sarasota.
Yeah.
We have a city that is exploding.
Oh my gosh.
Around us.
Yes.
Cranes, buildings going up everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's an amazing energy that
Yes.
I think we talked about 10 years ago, wanting to see an energy come
We
to
are
Sarasota.
living it right now. We're seeing
it's
it.
coming to life, yeah.
I know at times we felt that we were pushing a boulder up a mountain day after day after day. I mean, we involved ourselves in, city politics and local elections and trying to get things turned over so that we could, make this place more inviting for young creatives, and not just young at age, but young at heart.
Young at heart, yeah.
Young at heart. It's about being young at heart. And, and so I loved being able to say we were there when.
Yeah.
Because we were there when. We've been there when. And I think it's been one of the most fulfilling and rewarding things that I've gotten to be a part of, leading those crusades. And they weren't always easy. Well, they were rarely easy, and they certainly were controversial, and we certainly shook things up. But I would like to think that we played a pivotal role in a lot of it. And I know for certain that we have retained so many creatives and innovators in this community because they've had the platform of the HuB to be able to grow their businesses and power their businesses by the resources that the ecosystem of the HuB provides them. Where most, entrepreneurs go out there and startups, they go out there, they're looking for capital. And that is often the toughest thing to find. Convincing someone to give you money.
Write a check, yeah.
For your great idea. It is one of the hardest things, and it's one of the most deflating moments in an entrepreneur's life when they're unable to obtain that. And they think, well, there's nothing we can do. I mean, if we don't have the money, we can't do these things. And so what the HuB does is it creates an ecosystem that helps provide resources that help power those businesses. Because when you align yourself with people that are experts in so many different fields, and you're able to build that puzzle, and have every component there, you can build a thriving business.
Yeah, exactly.
With a support system behind you.
Mm-hmm. 10 years ago, we started to see a shift in society, and this is my opinion. but I think it's backed up with a lot of fact, is that we saw, there was a time when kids used to idolize movie stars, TV stars,
Yeah.
professional athletes.
Yeah, I did.
Now your son Ethan and Emma, you ask them who they admire most.
Oh my gosh.
And you hear names like Zuckerberg and
Yeah.
Bezos, right?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
My daughter's obsessed with Elon Musk.
And innovators and disruptors and influencers. Those are the heroes today.
That's right.
So for the HuB to sort of come of age
Doctor Strange.
in that
That's a big one in my house.
for the HuB to come of age as this revolution, as this big shift in society where people are deciding to forge their own path instead of follow a predetermined path.
Right.
Right? I've got to graduate high school, I've got to go to college,
That's
I've got to
right.
get this degree, I've got to go out in the workforce, I've got to
That's
work
right.
my way up the ladder, and I'm going to be, a
God
cog.
willing, you make it. God willing, you live long enough to go through all that and retire.
Right, yeah. Whereas we're seeing more and more people walk in our doors
Yeah.
who are saying, I don't want that.
Right.
What do you think's happening? Why do you think that people are making this shift?
Well, I definitely think. the shift is happening. I see it through my children's education. I see it obviously in the workplace. People are not wanting to work in a conventional work environment. Kids are not learning anymore in a conventional way because they don't have to. Because we have all the resources we need at our fingertips. We no longer have to be in one place, being dictated to all day in order to absorb information. And so I think that that's the biggest part of the change. Now, whether or not people feel comfortable derailing from all of that is a completely different story. I think that there is still a vast majority of our population that is still very conventional, following a very conventional path, and will go through all of those channels in order to find their way to success. We are very fortunate to be surrounded by people who have derailed. They've thrown their hands up and they've said, we're going to design our own life. We're going to do our own thing. Just yesterday alone, there were two families in here with young children who have said, we moved our life. Our kids don't go to school. They learn online, and not necessarily virtual school, but just simply creating a curriculum that suits the strengths of those children. As a parent, any parent knows if you have more than one child, that your children are different. They're all completely different. So at what point did it make sense to put 30 kids in one room and have them all measure up against each other? Or when I hear all the time, well, my kid's ADD. Your child is not ADD. Your child is born brilliant with gifts of their own that are completely theirs, that can never be taken away from them. But you have a choice as a parent. You can either embrace those gifts or you can strip them. And when you put your child up against other people, where we have standardized testings and things like that, you are now stripping those greatnesses away from those people. And that's a society, I believe, where we have lacked diversity and individuality. And I think we're missing all of that. And here, we're surrounded by it, and we support it. I may not 100% agree or even understand your idea all the time, but my God, I'll do whatever I can to put you in the right direction, or tee you up with the right people.
Does it ever get old hearing about the next big idea?
No.
It's like, if I had $1 for everybody who came to me with an idea.
I know. So all day long, I sit and talk to people about their great idea that's going to change the world and make them billions of dollars. So sometimes we find that great idea that is disruptive, and that's the coolest thing, right? Other times, you have to tell people that their idea isn't necessarily as good as they thought, or you have to challenge them and say, have you thought about this, and this? A lot of times they haven't done a lot of research, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, they're still doing something. They're still finding a passion in something. And it doesn't matter if I believe in their idea, as long as they believe in their idea, right? If you have found something that gets you out of bed every day and has kept you excited, who cares if I believe in it? But this is a great place to to come and try to bring it to life to some degree.
What do you think most of the people who come through the HuB, what's the lesson that they carry with them when they move on?
So it's interesting. We talk about what the HuB is like, right? So we always say this influx of new hubsters. It's usually in the summertime. And I don't know why. I have an idea. I think it's because they've either graduated high school, or they've graduated college, or they're looking for some kind of a change, or they're on a hiatus from something. And so they come in and they find us and they find a place to create a home base. And it kind of runs like a university. You know, they kind of come in and they go through these growth spurts, and then it never fails. They land that perfect thing, whatever it is, whether they've got their dream come true, whether they have found people to work with to create a new idea, whatever that looks like. The reason they're not here anymore is typically because they have moved on to better things, exactly what they came here looking for. And then we get this new influx of people. And so I think the thing that they take away with them, or at least the stories that I'm told every day, is that the HuB changed my life. The HuB gave me the confidence to do the things that I'm doing now. The HuB believed in me. You know, I found my best friends there. You know, they're family. These are people that were just feeling very lonely, like they were on an island somewhere alone, you know, and then they, all of a sudden, it was like they found their tribe. So that's what that's the thing I think they take with them.
And as you were saying that, I was thinking about the number of people who have said the HuB changed my life.
Changed my life. The HuB has changed my life.
Huge.
Yeah, and I think
huge.
it's one of the for me, it is one of the most gratifying things that I can hear every day, because I think, oh my God, wow. The fact that you can change someone's life in a positive direction and give them a reason to get out of bed every day and have the confidence to do so, I don't know of a better thing that I could be doing with my day than attributing to that person's story.
So my last question.
Okay.
What has the HuB taught you?
Oh, patience, humility, compassion. My kids probably have taught me that first, but I certainly have to carry it through. The HuB has taught me that anything is possible, really. I am aligned with so many people every day that are brilliant. And for me, and I give this advice to all CEOs, build a great team and get out of their way. Surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Learn from them. Do not get in their way. And so I love that I get to learn every single day something new, how to do something, take risks, try something. I love it.